watches, rings. Remember, a good time to sell is when you have a willing buyer. Do it now while we're in town. Now through Saturday, Colossal Coin buyers, Ramada Inn, room 100.
Good evening. A case of a rare fever has been reported in Brownsville. Bill?
Coming up on sports, tonight's high school football scores, including pictures from Nixon and United. Heat.
In the weather, we'll take a look at tomorrow's weather map. Mike?
Those stories and more coming up on Pro 8 News, Laredo's first choice for TV news.
It's time to move the 1980s out. Ford Motor Company is giving special dealer bonuses, and Sames Motor Company is passing these savings on to you with huge clearance sale discounts. For example, Mustang, the hottest car on the road, as low as $64.49. Need a pickup at the prices geared your way? Don't worry. During Sames Motors clearance sale, short wheelbase pickups start as low as $53.95. Be sure to ask about Sames special deals on low mileage dealer demonstrators with full 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. Check the Laredo Times for full details during Sames Motor Company's big clearance sale celebration.
With the best in programming from two great networks, this is 8 Country Television, Kgns-Tv, Channel 8, Laredo.
From 8 Country Television, this is Pro 8 News.
Good evening. I'm Mike Widener, sitting in tonight for Jim Chase. In the news tonight, the State Department is keeping a close eye on Soviet troop movements near Poland, but they say it's too early yet to tell if the Soviets are planning an invasion. The Soviet press stepped up its verbal attack on what it calls circles hostile to socialist Poland. The Soviets accused some Polish labor advocates of trying to break Poland's ties with the rest of the Eastern Communist bloc. Today, the 3 TV networks turned down requests by John Anderson and Ronald Reagan for equal time to rebut President Carter's news conference, which was aired last night. Meanwhile, Reagan and Anderson continue to prepare for Sunday's debate. Correspondent Jim Cummins reports on Anderson's preparations.
Here's a sneak preview of what John Anderson will be saying during the debate Sunday night.
My program, including my urban policy, is built around a theme, and that theme is rebuilding America.
Anderson has been practicing his debate lines through countless speeches and news conferences the past 15 months. So he will be spending today and tomorrow here in his congressional office or at home, studying and resting for the debate. One Anderson aide says he refuses to be coached.
This is not simply a contest, 2 people going into a bloody each other. I think it ought to be hopefully a responsible and restrained performance where each candidate is given a fair and equitable opportunity to tell what his views are, what his plans are, what his hopes are, his dreams are for the future of this country.
But one of his senior aides says when Anderson is not talking about his dreams for the country Sunday night, he will be analyzing the weaknesses of both the Carter record and the Reagan candidacy. That could start an argument. Jim Cummins, NBC News, with the Anderson campaign in Washington.
A mosquito-carried disease called dengue fever has been confirmed in Brownsville. This is the first time the influenza-like sickness has been reported in the continental United States since 1945. According to the National Center for Disease Control, thousands of cases of the fever occurred last spring in Mexico and could spread to the U.S. Brownsville officials are spraying to eliminate breeding sites for mosquitoes. The Brownsville victim was a 5-year-old girl who was briefly ill. So far, no one in the Western Hemisphere has died from that disease. In the local news, gangs of youngsters have been roaming the Colonia Guadalupe housing project, terrorizing the residents there. This afternoon, the residents told city officials they're tired of the burglaries and the harassment. Earlier today, I filed a report on that meeting. The residents of the Colonia Guadalupe live in constant fear of the gangs of kids in the area. The gangs are constantly stealing, vandalizing, and harassing both young and old. Mrs. Delia Campos has lived in the Colonia for 25 years.
Yes, everybody's afraid now because even small kids, they gang up on you and they try to, if you go out with your purse, or they just try to attack you and get your purse, try to steal something. I don't know what.
Mayor Aldo Tatangelo, Police Chief Victor Garcia, and officials of the Housing Authority sat down to hear the gripes. They also proposed some solutions. Chief Garcia says foot patrols will be in the Colonia every night until the situation changes. Mayor Tatangelo says the kids need recreation facilities to keep them out of trouble. But Mrs. Campos, like most of her neighbors, feels the parents of the troublemakers are the root of the problem.
You know, the problem is that we need the cooperation from all the parents. they need to discipline their children. You know, I never like to have a fight with my neighbors. I always go and talk to them. Well, look what your boy or girl is doing. She said, oh, yes, I called him, but he doesn't pay attention to me. Well,
in that vein, Housing Board Chairman Abraham Rodriguez proposed the most popular solution. Rodriguez told the crowd that if a family through its children is terrorizing the colonia, then the entire family can and should be evicted. City investigators say they may have cleared up at least 9 burglaries with the arrest of a 17-year-old suspect last night. Carlos Garcia Rocha of 538 White Oak was arrested and charged in connection with the attempted burglary of Border Sporting Goods on the airbase. The recent break-in marks the 4th attempt on the store, says Detective Lieutenant Ismael Alardin. District Attorney investigators took statements from Rocha concerning a number of other burglaries in the airbase housing area. Rocha currently remains in the Webb County Jail under $10,000 bond for burglary. We'll be back with more Pro 8 news in a minute. Don't go away.
Mobile City is challenging all dealers in South Texas, especially here in Laredo, because they have your style and price range. Mobile City features manufactured homes that you will truly take pride in, and at prices you can live with. Yes, prices start as low as $9,995 with discounts up to $7,000. So before you decide, check with Mobile City, where quality comes first at quantity prices. You'll be proud to say you bought your home at Mobile City. 4500 Sandarillo. Kroger's is next to us in North Laredo.
Hello, I'm John Keck, Executive Vice President of the Union Bank, and I'm standing in the lobby of our Auto Banking Center. Here at Union National Bank, we're very proud that this is Laredo's only full-service auto banking facility. And by full service, we mean it can handle most situations that our main bank can. In our Auto Bank lobby, we have 4 tellers and 2 consumer loan officers to handle your financial needs. Downstairs, we have 9 drive-in lanes, counting our commercial teller window. And we're open till 5:30 for your convenience. Unquestionably, it's the finest facility in Laredo. And that makes us at the Union National Bank very proud.
When census workers all over the nation geared up for the 1980 count, one of the restrictions handed down was a cutback on the apprehension of illegal aliens during business and residential checks by agents. The ruling came at a time when the Border Patrol received a 60% cutback on their monthly gasoline allowance. But Patty Waits reports even with the full allotment back, the tallies for alien seizures are still down.
For 2 months, the local Border Patrol office operated with cutbacks in gasoline, spare parts, manpower, and even regulations. Agents say morale has taken a dive since the implementation of the business residential ban on raids and routine checks. Each raid conducted now must be done only after special permission is received by the U.S. Attorney, according to Attorney General Benjamin Civiletti. Most of the cutbacks have been canceled, but it appears as if agents will have to live with the ban at least until after the November elections. The cutback is having a ripple effect all over the border, where apprehensions have dropped off as much as 60% on the average. Here in Laredo over the summer, the seizures have dropped up to 72% in May, when the gas was cut back as well. When the allotments returned in June of this year, the seizure rate went from a quarter of last year's count up to only a half. Both July and August showed a 50 and 55% drop respectively, while figures for this month promise to bring up the average still a little higher. Agents say most of their seizures are made in the business and drop houses, where aliens are held until ready for transportation to jobs up north. The Border Patrol currently faces a 10% budget cut, along with other government agencies. But until the new fiscal budget comes out in October, Border Patrol authorities say everything will probably remain the same for just a while longer. Patty Waits, Pro 8 News.
Another drowning victim was recovered from the waters of the Rio Grande this afternoon. Authorities say an 18-year-old Nuevo Laredo resident apparently tried to cross the river somewhere near the Tex-Mex Railroad Bridge. He was apparently trapped in the strong undertow of the current and drowned. Justice of the Peace Chito Vela pronounced the man dead at the scene. The body was taken to Hernandez Lopez Funeral Home. No autopsy has been ordered. The Laredo Chamber of Commerce and government officials hosted a carne asada last night for representatives of the Laredo area industry and manufacturing interests. The event was to show appreciation to local industry for their support of the area economy. A number of local businessmen were represented, and officials predicted continued good growth for Laredo and our economy. 2 young men working as subscription gatherers for an area newspaper have been charged in connection with the theft of 2 rifles from a Carrizo Springs residence. 18-year-old Robert Ibarra remains in Dimmitt County Jail, that is, charged with 3rd-degree theft. A second warrant was issued for a 20-year-old San Antonio man in connection with that theft. The Webb County District Attorney's Office took statements from Ibarra, who claims the San Antonio man actually took the rifles after they split up to cover more territory for subscriptions. Ibarra told investigators he threw one of the rifles into a pond. The second rifle is still reportedly with the San Antonio man. Pro 8 News will continue in a moment. Stay with us, please, won't you?
Every Curtis Mathis television comes with a 4-year limited warranty. But our customers will tell you we build them to last a lot longer than that. So instead of breaking down when the warranty expires, our Curtis Mathis is just getting broken in.
I'm Curtis Mathis. We can't promise you how long our sets will last. But when you buy one, choose it carefully, because chances are it's going to be around a long time.
That's right, Curtis.
Curtis Mathis, the most expensive television in America, and worth it.
Once you taste the high country, no downstream beer will do. Coors is brewed with pure Rocky Mountain spring water and its own special high country barley.
It's no downstream beer.
It's no city beer.
It's Coors.
Taste the high country. Climb up to Coors.
Getting into shape isn't hard, but finding a place to work out in can be. Work out at home, when you want to, with an exercise bench from Montgomery Ward. The low $99.97 price won't weigh you down. And with the arm curl, leg lift, weight pulley, and bicycle attachments, you can shape up your calves, thighs, shoulders, just about every part of your body. Why bother with a gym when working out at home can be so easy? During the Money Saver sale at Montgomery Ward.
State District Judge James Wright says that Lee Harvey Oswald's body will remain in its grave unless future courts rule otherwise. Wright granted a temporary injunction requested by Oswald's brother Robert, halting efforts to unearth the body. There have been claims that a Soviet spy took Oswald's place while he was in the Soviet Union and that the spy is buried in the grave. Congress was looking into the problem of Cuban and Haitian refugees today. Attorney General Benjamin Civiletti appeared before a Senate panel to tell how the Carter administration plans to deal with the refugees. Carol Simpson has a report.
Since April, more than 130,000 Cuban and Haitian refugees have come to the United States seeking asylum. But at a time when the country is in economic trouble, to grow. Many Americans don't like the federal government spending millions of dollars to help the refugees. That resentment was reflected on Capitol Hill today. Federal officials were called to task by senators, demanding to know why the government wasn't doing more to stop the influx of refugees. Attorney General Benjamin Civiletti said the Justice Department is trying to do all it can to discourage new refugees, but he admitted that might not be enough.
I think it is perfectly clear that we don't have absolute control over the 3,000-mile or the 2,500-mile southwest border. We don't have and cannot have, unless we want to be a police state, control over the whole in Florida peninsula. So I can't say absolutely that we have control.
Several senators suggested that President Carter made a mistake by welcoming the Cuban refugees with open arms. But Civiletti disagreed. He said the government must maintain its humanitarian traditions. Carol Simpson, NBC News, at the Capitol.
Well, Bill, I understand another crosstown rivalry got off to a great start tonight.
I'm thinking now that Martin and Nixon may not have wanted this crosstown rivalry to start, but United did it. They came from behind and beat the Nixon Mustangs tonight. High school football at Shirley Field. It is a final. United 12, Nixon 7. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Check out this play. Maldonado pitches back to Miller, who fumbles it. Just watch the rest. Miller gets away. He's going to go all the way, 53 yards for a touchdown. The point after was good. Nixon led it there, 7-0. 80-yard drive for United coming up, culminated by this 1-yard run by Juan Guajardo. Extra point was no good. It was 7-6 at the half. First play of the fourth quarter. Rene Gonzalez on a 15-yard run wins it for United. 12-7, the Longhorns do it. Look at the Zapata score. Those Hawks are making a comeback. The doormats for years and years. Zapata 47-0 over the Corpus Christi Moody JV tonight. The Hawks now 3-0. By the way, United also 3-0. Nixon 0-3. Nothing in yet from Bishop and Hebronville. Nothing yet also from, we do have a partial score. 22-0. Carrizo leads San Antonio St. Joseph. 8 minutes left in that game. Nothing in yet from Freer and nothing in yet from Eagle Pass. As we continue, the only other score we have in right now is Asherton with their first win of the year. They're 1-1-1. They knock off Lakey tonight, 21-6. Well, nothing in yet from Natalia yet, and tomorrow night at Shirley Field it'll be Miller and Martin. All right, Major League Baseball in the National League just underway at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The Astros and the Giants. Joaquin Andujar going for the Astros tonight. The former Astro, Tom Griffin, on the mound for San Francisco. Also just underway at Los Angeles, the Reds and the Dodgers. Elsewhere, Expos leading the Cardinals in the 7th. This afternoon, the Cubs scored twice in the bottom of the 9th to knock off the Phillies. This final just in, the Pirates edged the Mets. And just underway in San Diego, the Braves score in the top of the first. They lead it 1-0. National League standings up to the minute. The Dodgers with the 1-game lead over Houston, 5.5 over Cincinnati. In the East, the Expo lead with the Philly loss today is now 2, and the Pirates with their win tonight, 4.5 back. American League tonight at Arlington Stadium. They're in the 7th. The Angels leading the Rangers by a score of 7-2. We do have a final in now from Kansas City. The Royals 13, the A's 3. The Royals, of course, have clinched the West, but the big story, George Brett. What did George do tonight? 2 for 4. He's back at 400. Yankees have just knocked off the Red Sox. The Orioles and the Blue Jays in extra innings. The White Sox have come from behind. They lead the Twins now. The Tigers lead the Indians, and the Brewers have shut out the Mariners. So the up to the minute American League standings. There's the Royals clinching in the West, and the East, Milwaukee has pulled into 3rd place in front of Boston with the Milwaukee win tonight and the Red Sox loss. Let's take a timeout now. When we come back, we shall check the rest of the day in sports. News about Hollywood Henderson. Stay with us.
Once a day, they'll face a special challenge to become what they want to be. They'll need confidence to go on, a feeling they can grow on. They need free to get ready.
It's a trying world out there, so help them get ready for it with a delicious hot bowl of 3-Minute Brand oatmeal. 100% natural toasted oats gives them a warm feeling inside that'll be with them all the way.
Give them free to get ready. 3-Minute Oatmeal.
Where can you get the sexy car with great gas mileage? At the sign of the cat.
The 1980 Mercury Capri. Higher gas mileage ratings than 6 different Datsuns and Toyotas. And right now, save as much as 50% on a specially priced option package for even more Capri value. Great mileage, great value, and that sexy Capri magic.
Now that's something to be proud of.
We're your Lincoln Mercury dealers. Our pride is shining through.
When you look closely at tomorrow's energy picture, one energy system emerges as cleanest, most efficient, most economical, and with enormous potential supplies. By the year 2000, we can have much more of it than we do today. The energy, natural gas. And with new sources and technologies, there could be enough gas to supply us far into the future. Gas, the future belongs to the efficient.
Finally tonight, Hollywood Henderson out looking for another job tonight. Hollywood fired today, put on waivers by the 49ers. Bill Rogers, the leader at the halfway point of the Texas Open up in San Antonio. Bill 3 under 67 today, 9 under 131 for the tournament. And Australia, big upset, has tied up the America's Cup yacht race, 1 race apiece. Australia, a 28-second winner today over the American Yacht Freedom. Mike, we have a good weekend of sports coming up. Baseball game of the week tomorrow, the pennant races. The primary game will be the Expos and the Cardinals at St. Louis, and the backup game will be the Yankees and the Red Sox Sunday. Oiler football will have the Colts at Houston, the home opener at the Astrodome. And I'll try to get some more scores, football scores, by the time we go off the air tonight. If not, I'll roll them across the bottom of your screen around 11 o'clock.
Good deal. Any word on why Hollywood got fired?
He missed a lot of practice, missed about 25 days of practice. He hasn't played in the first 2 games, so who knows where he'll be next.
Out. Well, now turning from sports, we're going to take a look at the society scene for the weekend. And here's Laredo Citizen Society editor Elizabeth Sorrell.
Hello, everybody. This is Elizabeth Sorrell of the Citizen telling you about this week in Laredo. Drives, there is the civic music, the community chess, the symphony. The civic music people are having their kickoff dinner on Tuesday night at the Civic Center. This is also the Jewish high holiday, and Rabbi Petachevsky is talking at the Jewish temple tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow, that popular couple, Tony Newman and Eloy Cantu, are getting married at 10 o'clock at the Blessed Sacrament. After that, the Tesoro Club will be the setting of their reception for friends, few, and family. That night, the Ricardo Garces are having their golden wedding anniversary at San Augustine with a Ramada Club reception. Also that night, about 8 o'clock, Diana Villarreal will be honored by a group of her friends at 2704 Garfield. She's getting married. Okay, on Sunday, Susan Singleton is stepping up. She's going from the Laredo Public Library to the Laredo Junior College Library. And the Horace Watsons are giving a dinner for her in their beautiful home in Del Mar. Monday, Albert Nippon, famed designer, will be honored by the Simon Deutsches. Have fun. I know I shall. This is Elizabeth Sorrell from The Citizen.
Well, Heat Wave, we've got the lowdown on the society scene for the weekend. What's the weather look like?
It's going to continue on the hot side. Temperature is remaining just under 100 degrees, but not much under 100 degrees. At this hour, it's 84 degrees, fair skies, easterly winds at 13. Barometer is now 29.95 inches, the relative humidity 48%. On the almanac, the hottest September 19th of all time occurred in 1957 when it was 102. Today it was 96. Downtown it was 98 degrees. This morning's low 75, and the record low in 1971 when it was 58. No rain occurred today. Looking around the country, it was a nice day over a large portion of the mid-Atlantic states. Low 80s today across Virginia. New York City made it into the 70s, a crisp autumn afternoon in New England where temperatures were in the 60s. In the central part of the country, very hot air started to flow back to the north. 102 degrees today in Dodge City, Kansas. Temperatures into the 90s as far north as Sioux City, Iowa. However, to the north, very cool air. Temperatures in Ontario only in the 30s. In Red Lake, Ontario, about 150 miles north of the U.S. border, they actually had 1 inch of snow. Looking at what I think will be happening by this time tomorrow, weather patterns continue to come in out of a southwesterly direction. This blue arrow indicates what the winds are between 15 and 20,000 feet. And again, that pretty much indicates where the weather systems here on the ground move from. So hot air will continue to flow northeastward across most of the central and southern portions of the country. I still think that most of Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas will have temperatures in the upper 90s and even over 100 degrees. A few showers will be along the coastal areas of Texas, and some widely scattered showers if you're traveling north to San Antonio, but I think 8 country for the most part will remain dry. I'll have more on the Texas weather picture and my forecast after these words.
I may be the only man running a major brewery who is a master brewer. Have been for 40 years. I'm Frank Sellinger, Chief Executive Officer of Schlitz. 2 years ago, when they asked me to come to Schlitz, they said, Frank, let's make the best. Here it is, Schlitz. Compare Schlitz with any other beer. This has the taste that I've been after for 40 years. I know you'll like it.
You look snug as a bug. Well, I'll tell you, it's my new gas heating system. Makes me feel better at 65. You're 65? No, 65 degrees. See, gas heating saves money. In fact, with new energy-saving improvements, it's 70% cheaper than using an electric furnace. 70%? You save a lot of money. Sort of warms you all over, doesn't it? Now, more than ever, the new gas appliances are good for your economy.
Skies across the state mostly fair. Southerly winds continue. Temperatures mostly over 80, a few exceptions. In western Texas, Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, all into the upper 70s at this hour. Most of central Texas, though, in the 80s. Dallas, Fort Worth, still about 85 degrees. Eastern Texas now dropping just under 80 degrees. A few widely scattered showers still left in the southern part of the state. Again, most of the showers along the coast. 8 country areas, skies are fair, 86 in Eagle Pass, Carrizo Springs 87. In Cotulla, mostly fair skies, 84 degrees. Hebronville 77, mostly fair. Zapata, a little bit more of a breeze than they've had in a while. Winds gusting to 20 at times, 81 degrees. And Laredo fair, 84. For 8 country, I'm expecting fair tonight. Temperatures dropping below 80 in another 2 or 3 hours. By sunrise, temperatures will be in the mid-70s. Southeasterly winds at about 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and hot. Temperatures reaching 90 at around 11 in the morning and peaking in the mid to upper 90s by late afternoon. Widely scattered showers, but they'll be very widely scattered. Most areas will not see them. You might see some of the towering clouds. And on Sunday, mostly sunny. Temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. So it looks like a hot weekend and a dry weekend. Pro 8 News will continue in a moment with Mike Widener.
It's colossal. It's immediate cash for you. Yes, it's your chance to really clean up and make huge profits on your gold, silver, coins, and jewelry. Bring it all to room 100 at the Ramada Inn. You'll receive instant cash. We're paying 12 times the face value for U.S. silver coins dated 1964 or before. We are paying higher prices for coins with better dates. We're buying gold in every form. Class rings, dental gold, watches, rings. Remember, a good time to sell is when you have a willing buyer. Do it now while we're in town. Now through Saturday, Colossal Coin Buyers, Ramada Inn, room 100.
For the first time on television, Audio Systems in the Gateway Shopping Center brings to you, Laredo, Alpine, a super-sensitive AM/FM stereo radio combined with a precision-engineered high-fidelity stereo cassette deck. Alpine, with units starting as low as $199 and up, for you and your car. Step into the world of Alpine at Audio Systems in the Gateway Shopping Center.
Cucumber lovers in Austin wallowed in a dream come true today when a truck dumped 5 tons of the vegetables on an interstate access road. People with sacks and garbage cans picked a peck of cucumbers after the semi-trailer veered off the highway and spilled the cucumbers all over the road. One cucumber lover said she had big plans for a pickling party. That's all for now. One final football score tonight, Hebronville 17, Bishop nothing. I'll be back on Sunday night with George Rodarte. Jim Chase will be returning Monday, so stay tuned, Laredoans, and thank you for joining us tonight from Pro 8 News, Laredo's first choice.
Country is your country, 'cause A's country is you. Friendly country, helping hands country, A's country is you. There are no city limits in A's country. We got the best of both worlds. Sunshine country.
To celebrate our 75th Diamond Jubilee, HEB is offering $1 million in bingo prizes, including diamonds, cash, and gift certificates.